I think for WE, this should just be a Gwen lock, and we've seen them go towards it almost any time it is open. And then for WE, you could be looking to match in the bottom lane. You can always look to go for something like an early Nautilus pick, or even just lock in AD carry now. Something like the Ezreal has been where Elk has been going. 14 games on Ezreal. His second most played is the Varus at 6. So, highly comfortable champion for Elk.
Yeah, relatively comfortable for him. TheShy going to go with the Jayce here. It's pretty much the matchup we've seen against Gwen, right? Every time a Gwen is locked in blind, Jayce has been the answer. And TheShy, one of the most lane-dominant players we have in the entire LPL. Love him or hate him, he dominates lane, certainly in terms of CSD, and he has a favorable matchup. So we've got to keep our eyes on TheShy moving into the game. It's going to be Braum and Ziggs being removed in our second round of bans.
So W respecting the fact that those can still be 2 AD soul laners and maybe need to shore your composition with AP somewhere, gonna take that one off the table. For IG, I'm guessing you're just going to keep looking to force through bans down in the bottom lane. The Nautilus was something that we hit on that can potentially be taken away. If you want something that I'd say thematically goes more with the Ezreal, there it is, the Alistar, right? Providing engage and disengage, being able to have that roam threat later on. Now we're going to be looking at AD carries for the side of IG. The Varus is something we keep hitting on consistently, but it seems like it's really fallen out of favor with teams so far. Aphelios also still open. We've seen teams don't really care about having the Aphelios with the Thresh anymore. They're just willing to pick it outright with Leonas and the Nautiluses of the world. But this also would be very IG flavor.
Anything aggressive, right, is good against Ezreal. You've got your Kalista. You've got Draven that's really good against Ezreal. You've got Kai'Sa, by the way, as a very, very good matchup against Ezreal. We're not going to see it. We see the Aphelios from Wink. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined, Lyric.
Well, I'm sorry much. I'm actually kind of happy because we've been seeing IG go the opposite way so much lately, right? Where it has been the Kalistas, it has been the Dravens. They haven't had much to fall back on in terms of like scaling later on. We have seen Wink play this a little bit. I remember in their last series where they did lose, Wink almost pulled off some insane turn on the Aphelios, but we're looking towards the opposite side. WE going to bring out the Sylas, so having a ton of die for the back line so far with the Sylas and the Zhao. And now where you can go with support, I mean, the only thing that jumps into my mind is still that Nautilus being open. Tahm Kench is something we still have seen here in the bottom lane. I still like it more in soul lane. I think I say that every time. It does feel like a stat check champion to me. There is a lot you can do in terms of setting up bot plays with the W, but thank you. We are going to get the Nautilus. Just give me that sweet top lane Tahm Kench.
We're going to see the LeBlanc as the last lock in here. It's going over the way of Rookie, which is always going to be exciting, right? Rookie's LeBlanc, it's legendary. But Shanks as well on this Sylas. It's definitely his signature pick from the split. He's played it 10 times. His next most played is the LeBlanc himself. That's only on 4 picks. So certainly both mid laners with comfortable picks. But importantly, IG, for both of their solo laners, getting the counter pick.
So I actually like IG's draft more like thematically in terms of like they're playing off range, they're playing off poke, there isn't a ton of engage on the opposite side, but WE's comp is just filled with power picks and champions that are considered S tier on this patch. So there's no way to not like what WE have put together. I mean, the Sylas, the Gwen, the Zhao, you got almost every champion on their side is considered top 3 in their position right now in the current meta. So I feel like this one could be a bit rough for IG, but they do have that range to play off of. You do have like early game pressure coming out from mid jungle. You have scaling sitting there on both your top and your AD carry. So IG definitely have tools, but it is still looking a bit scary.
Certainly. Well, I mean, to be honest, every series for IG looks a bit scary. I can't remember the last time I watched a series that IG were in and I was confident in the result for either team. Like, whether you're a WE fan, whether you're an IG fan coming into this one, you should not look at this draft and think, yes, this composition is theoretically stronger, therefore this team wins. This is an IG series. It's always chaos. It's always filled with shenanigans, and IG are on their last stand. The desperation is high, and I anticipate action on the top side of the map. But WE, they've looked strong this split. They've guaranteed themselves playoffs, and right now, they're fighting for a spot in the top 3. If they can win this series, they will overtake LNG in the standings and grab themselves 3rd place.
So I'm really interested with what Rookie's done. Rookie's actually taken Airy in this matchup. This isn't something you see all too often. Typically, you can see LeBlanc take things like Airy, or last year when we still had things like Gunblade in the game, like Halo Blades, you would take into certain matchups, like things like Kassadin, where you can just really heavily bully them out with autos. And I'm guessing that's the route Rookie is going to go for, but I feel like you do lose a lot of, like, burst and catch potential later on into the game for a slightly better laning phase up against the Sylas. So gonna be really curious to see how much Rookie is able to do with this Airy on LeBlanc.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I've seen Lucian's bringing Airy to the mid lane as well. I feel like Airy is having a little bit of a resurgence in that mid lane, but we'll see what Rookie's going to be able to do with that one, as the ward going to be cleared away in the jungle by IG, by WE, sorry, the ward from IG. But it does mean that Beishang has been spotted. He's going to have a slow start. And importantly, we've got a Lee Sin jungle here for IG. Now, if you think back about a year, we saw an IG jungler playing Lee Sin, having a not-so-fast clear, and it becoming an internet sensation of all of the other junglers in China.
Don't do that to him.
Trying to outpace the clear. Let's see how fast Shun is going to be able to clear his camps this game.
I don't care much. Don't do Ning like that, man. Man, Ning had some rough series like towards the end of last year. But I also think people forget how much Ning did to kind of like save them when he came back into the roster. So it's one of those things that sucks. IG weren't as good as they could have been with Ning, but Ning also, Ning got done dirty, man.
I say it from a place of love, right? Because at the end of the day, Ning was the world's finals MVP. The man is an absolute legend of League of Legends. And I think, like, you can have some fun about his summer split without being too offensive. In the grand context, Ning is an absolutely exceptional player. Beishang moving up to the top side here. Breathe trying to bait TheShy. TheShy has overextended. Who could have seen this one coming? He goes inside the brush. Beishang follows it up, gets the W, and forces the flash out. Nicely done here by WE, but Shun is here to answer the play. Breathe is still only level 2. This could get dicey for WE, but I don't think Shun's going to commit for now. As a trade in the mid lane as well. Rookie takes a tower shot, though. Not ideal for Rookie in that mid lane.
Yeah, and you know, the play we just saw just comes down to how junglers decide to go with their clears, right? Because Shun, I'm sorry, you're getting me the mindset of Ning. Shun going for a 4-camp clear compared to Beishang. Cleared 3 camps, went straight for that gank top. And TheShy had already put down a ward. I'm going to stop, though, because Shun's still aggressing.
Yeah, he does not care. He wants to fight Beishang here. Resets the blue buff, doesn't follow up on the Q. TheShy moving in as well. And now Shun will return to that blue buff in the meantime. IG going for the bottom scuttle crab. This is jungle dominance from IG as a team trying their best to shut Beishang out of this game.
I mean, this is what IG have been doing pretty much all split long, right? You're drafting a lot of early pressure in your lanes, and you're looking for plays like this. I feel like it's become a lot more common, especially since TheShy has come back onto the roster, and pretty good win condition by them, right? Beishang has been one of the most crucial, if not, probably the second most crucial member on Team WE after Breathe. Breathe definitely being the one to have the most standout split, but if you can shut out Beishang, Breathe is going to be all on his lonesome and trying to take over this game. Breathe TPing back in with where TheShy's holding wave is quite nice, especially while Shun is still on this top half of the map. Shanks trying to hover over in Fog of War for now to try and give him some assistance, but Shun might find this.
Shun trying to get up to the top side. Breathe is moving down towards Shanks. Maybe Shanks can save his top laner here. Shun flashes forward to try and finish off the kill. TheShy here too, but Shanks over the wall. They're turning it onto Shun, and WE flip it onto its head. Shanks in a 1v1 with TheShy, but Shanks has health bars. Going to be Rookie moving in, though, trying to contest this one. Shanks with double buffs might just go for it. Flashes forward and finishes TheShy off. Keeps Rookie at arm's length. Now moving away. Beishang still on the opposite side of the map here, but Shanks with the Kingslayer. He's got the health, he's got the double buffs, and he's got away with the play.
And this is why Team WE brought Shanks back into the roster. He just aligns so much better with his jungle and his top laner, makes his way over, saves Breathe, looks for that 2v2. Breathe does go down in the end, but the fact that he's able to pick up a second kill off of it is massive. And when we were talking about Rookie taking Airy, how much he's going to be able to hold Shanks down in this lane, it feels like it was all for naught. And now Missing even going to come help Shanks look for that reset. just everything going on, everything around this WE mid laner.
And it is a disaster for IG as Rookie looks for another trade. Shun comes in. Maybe they found Shanks. He already flashed, but there's a hook onto Shun. He's stuck underneath the tower. It is answered 1-for-1. And now Elk is in trouble in the bottom side as well. IG looking for a dive here. Turret shots coming in. Elk will go down, but Beishang has arrived to answer it. Wink falls. A TP coming out. It's from Rookie. I think he TP'd from the mid lane there. And Missing is going to find him on the way out of the jungle. There's a hook. Missing is looking to get Shun and Rookie off of the play earlier on. Rookie will walk away. As Missing has those double buffs that have now been passed around the team, what, 4-5 times?
I mean, kills going all over on both sides. WE leading with 1, gold about even, but just a ton of craziness. This isn't uncommon for either team from what we've seen in their recent series, but I feel like the big thing is Shanks now getting more alone time in the mid lane. Rookie going to be losing out in CS, and we're going to come back to the initial play onto Shanks. Shanks was low. Chain does land. Should go for nice flash from Missing to be able to, you know, secure that Q and make sure they get a 1-for-1. And IG feeling pressure that there's so much happening on the opposite side of the map, thinking they have numbers advantage with a massive wave, do want to go for this one. Wink flashing in to secure it. You can see Rookie wanting to channel TP to try to help and find the pick onto Beishang, but I mean, Wink was just so low, he was going to go down for sure in the end. And I got scared here. I thought maybe Rookie was going to give over another kill as well, and that could have been absolutely massive for the side of WE. But the fact that Shanks is still doing just fine in this mid lane matchup, bot and top are a bit behind, but I think IG probably had a lot more chances to dominate with the pressure from all 3 lanes than what we're seeing from all this chaos.
Oh, Breathe uses the Neo to work. TheShy is in trouble once again as Beishang moves up. TheShy got to have some fancy footwork here, but he's knocked back with the ulti. His flash is not available just yet, and one more auto means Breathe grabs himself a kill here. That's his first of the game, and we talked about the WE top side. They have 4 kills across between them here.
IG should have known to expect this as well. This has been WE's go-to playstyle all split long. IG, to their credit, do have the topside river completely lit up with vision, but not enough to counteract that angle. But Shun now looking to make a play on the opposite side of the map.
Elk is in big trouble. No summoners here. There's the Zenith Blade, but gets underneath the tower as Shun now starting to tank it himself. Missing, doesn't have Q available. And there's a wave under the tower here, but finds a hook. Gets the Riptide! Missing, man! He is popping off. What is it with supports killing people today?
Missing is popping off, and IG's doing something. IG's just handing it to him much, but this does not bode well for IG's playoff dreams.
I am having a whale of a time today, mate. This has been some silly, silly games. We saw the Leona popping off from Cold, getting all of the kills earlier on today, and now we're seeing Missing, who's known for his Leona as well, popping off, getting a couple of kills, and it's all off of IG diving too deep. In fact, both of them were on Shun, I believe, underneath these towers. Shun is 2 and 3 right now, so yes, he's impacted a lot, but he's also impacted a lot for WE.
I mean, the thing is, you have gold advantages on multiple members of WE support. Mid lane, top lane, jungle is not far behind for Beishang, and your only real advantage is onto Wink. So from a draft that quickly went from controlling all 3 lanes, enabling Shun to look for invades, steal away camps from Beishang, it has quickly gone to, okay, now we're in a neutral position, and WE are sitting pretty with champions like Gwen, Sylas, and Ezreal that are going to be no slouches later on. I don't think it's totally over for IG, right? We've hit on the Aphelios, I think, 100 times before. You're going to have TheShy who potentially can do a ton with the Accelerated Shock Blast, but I'm still not feeling great for IG when WE have just been answering every over-aggressive tendency from IG so well.
Certainly have, and it's going to be a herald for WE as well. Now, importantly, gold is basically even. There have been no Drakes taken. This is the first objective to be taken this game that WE get for themselves. So I kind of want to dig a little bit deeper onto this one, Lyric. What is it that is so unpersuasive about this composition from IG? Because, you know, with gold even, with them getting a Drake here, I'm sure a lot of the fans at home are confused as to why you're saying that this is so heavily one-sided towards WE.
I feel like it's less to do with IG's comp in my mind and just more to do with the fact of the champions WE have. Because WE do have things like the Gwen, which we've seen single-handedly take over games. They do have the Ezreal, where it's going to be hard for any champion on IG to lock him down. Sure, you have the Leona, but champions like Lee and LeBlanc going to be relying a lot more on like vision denial to be able to get on top of him and burst him out. We already hit on how Rookie doesn't have the electrocute, so a lot of his burst damage is going to be lowered from that one. And then Shanks, already getting ahead on the Sylas, is going to win out in side lanes against LeBlanc later on. There's just so many different avenues of like WE's champions doing well that I feel like makes me feel great about WE.
Oh no. Wink, you got the tower, mate. Why are you staying for the extra wave? Very, very greedy from Wink, but now Elk's in trouble as Shun goes in underneath the wave, flashes forward to try and finish him off. The hook comes in, and it's missing versus Shun once again for the 19th time this game. Solarfly comes in, Lucas backing him up, but Breathe should finish this first kill off here. Shun goes down, and Lucas might have gone too far, but Rookie waiting in the wings should be able to protect his support. The chaos continues, Lyric, and it's another 1-for-1.
So for what happened with Wink, I feel like what IG were thinking was, hey, we've committed 2 members to topside. We want to be able to push this wave out in bot. We feel safe. But I feel like the fact that the WE had TP advantage on both soul laners at that point meant all of IG's members had to start backing off from WE's bottom side jungle. As we are going to get the replay here, you have Shun just farming his Gromp with Lucas walking into the enemy jungle. So a little bit disconnected from the members of IG and what they want to do. Remember, they do see both Gwen and Zinza on top side. So I feel like it's just a really weird team decision rather than to just solely blame someone like Wink, even though he was very clearly kind of inting on our screen. We see Shun try and get a return, is able to get a kill onto Elk, but we saw the usage of those TP advantages that we just hit on, with Breathe able to come down and pretty much take the other members of IG down with him.
Lyric woke up today and chose violence as Wink kind of runs it, but then Elk also, in return, did kind of run it himself. I don't know why Elk and Missing were pushing up so far up that lane when IG had control of their jungle. It is going to be towards the top side of the map here. There is no Herald. Now, the player positioning might persuade you that there was a Herald on the map right now. There is no Herald available. We're just grouping up and fighting for vision for the time being as Shanks moves up and will clear that top wave. Breathe clearing in the bottom side. And we've set our AD carries towards that mid lane now where it's a little bit safer.
And this is going to be nice for IG, where the Aphelios will continuously have pressure over the Ezreal for a little while. So they're going to be able to keep going for the sequence that we're seeing right now, where they're allowed to walk into river first and can start setting up whether it's picks in the enemy jungle or dives around that top half of the map of like what you're looking for now. Don't necessarily need to kill the Sylas. Can zone him off turret, try and get some more plates, try and get some more gold onto Rookie. Plates only up for about another 35 seconds, so gonna want to get that one. Is Shanks playing cautiously, but IG looking to be a little bit sneaky.
Shanks really wants to go for it. He really wants to get that wave, but good respect coming out from Shanks. It feels good to say that. Feels good to see him playing so respectfully. He's going to walk through the jungle here, and Dragon's Rage is shunned away. That was beautiful. They both kick each other in the face simultaneously. But I think it hurt a little bit more from Shanks. Wraps his chains around his foot. It's like a knuckle duster, but for your shoes.
I just can't get over the fact that like we are seriously getting the WE cliche, right? We're getting the fact that Breathe and Beishang have been holding hands this whole game. Beishang has always been there for his top laner. IG, to their credit, have been trying to answer on the opposite side of the map, so I'd say much better than like just kind of standing, staring, doing nothing. You know, not to disrespect a team like LGD who just got eliminated today, but like we kind of saw from both them and OMG in game one. You're seeing both teams try to trade on opposite sides of the map and find their own advantages, which is why IG aren't really out just yet in terms of gold. Not even sitting 1K behind just yet. Dragon up in about 50 seconds. For me, who we're looking at for WE is their top side, right? We're really going to be looking at, I think, especially Breathe and Shanks going into this fight. Can Shanks find a massive flank? How much disruption can Breathe do in the front line with his W, with his needlework? And then on the side of IG, I feel like you need Shun to find a massive kick onto some key carry, which is going to be hard when their big members right now are both mobile and semi-bruisers in terms of like Sylas and Gwen with the healing they provide. Then we're also going to be keeping our eyes on Wink, because if Wink can stay safe, if Wink can deal damage for free, he is the strongest member of IG in terms of where gold has gone.
Yeah, I mean, look at the CS difference between the AD carries right now. And on top of that, we saw Wink getting solo local gold for the first tower in the game, as well as 5 plays. So Wink is really, really huge. He's headed towards a collector as his second item by the looks of things as well, but won't finish that one off just yet. His WE trying to wrestle control of this mid wave away from IG. It's been IG taking control of the mid wave for a long time, as you mentioned, the AD carry priority. With the whole team involved, Elk can be a little bit more aggro. Maybe a little too aggro. That was a bit dicey from him, but now on towards the Drake. WE happy to start this one off, but Missing taking a chunk here, and IG, they're not going to let this one go for free. But as I say that, they let this one go for free.
Whoa, Munch.
They go to the mid lane. They go to the mid lane. Now an engage. We've got a hook coming through. It's Lucas as the target. He uses his stopwatch as a solar flare. It's not quite going to connect. Beishang moves up. He's got the hallowed miss. Another solar flare goes in as TheShy is hooked up. Half of his health gone already, but he survives for now. Knocks him back. And WE can't finish the kill. It's 1-for-1 though. Support for jungler. Elk trying to get some damage down. Rookie back into the fray. Wink stepping forward. And IG toying with the idea of going for more. They're playing with fire though, because Breathe wants to keep this fight going himself. Shun stepping forward as Breathe tries to get a couple of snips onto him. With a TP coming back in. I think that is TheShy returning to the fray once more. Rookie's off in the wings. Maybe they can go for a dive here. The minions crashing. There's the tower going down. Onto Elk they go, but Rookie has to back away again. This was a tense fight, but IG, I think, taking the advantage.
I mean, IG doing a nice job of playing off their range, right? Tethering WE, just keeping them right at arm's length to where they're able to weave in all of this damage. Wink was left untouched after his initial flash came out. TheShy, same with him. And Rookie just kept finding ways to weave in and out of the fight to get damage down. IG going to be able to turn this one into a Rift Herald, so going to be able to get some more gold, you know, presumably off a play they're able to make with this one. They've already gotten all of the outer turrets down, so you're going to need to be trying to set up this for some kind of like big push somewhere, which could be quite hard. We're going to go right back in the replay of Missing, just getting a nice hook onto Lucas. Both Rookie and Lucas were looking to get some damage down, presumably to try and find a pick. Beishang following up, and like I said, keep your eyes on Rookie because he keeps weaving in and out like that. TheShy does get hooked, but somehow able to survive in the end, flashes away and even gets a nice knockback.
Oh.
But we're already on the map with action!
Big play, TP's coming through. Here we go, Beishang in trouble, low on HP, and he's gonna go down. Rookie with the first kill, and IG looking good in this one. A chain onto Missing, but he flashes out, and in fact, it's Shanks to get one. A great hook from Missing onto Shun. He's over the wall, finished off by the needlework. 1,000 pierces going his way as Rookie tries to back away. Distortion on cooldown, but he's going to be okay thanks to the Cloud Rift. WE narrowly winning this fight out. It's a 2-for-1.
IG getting caught up in the scrap. That's not really how their composition wants to fight these out, right? They want to have it like they did last game where they're able to kite out a lot of these initial abilities. I feel like the fact that you lost flashes hurts you more than vice versa, right? If WE does, because you do have more repositioning tools on their side. So WE find the close scrap. They are able to slightly win out. Gold still incredibly close for both sides. And I think we're still in a place on the map where TheShy is able to do quite well in terms of pressuring sides, but with Breathe now actually on his second item, probably not going to be the same as we go straight into the replay. Missing and Beishang solo walking into the enemy jungle. This is actually pretty dicey from the side of WE. Breathe is close enough to where he's able to join in, and he's the one that jumps over the wall to get straight on top of TheShy, as the other members of WE are able to burst down Beishang from that really greedy invade. Missing with the hook that you talk about leads them to getting on top of Shun, and then Shanks and Breathe able to follow up to secure that kill.
And that third needlework doing so much damage. And you can see why, because Breathe already has 2 full items on top of his boots here. You see Beishang with his mythic and a half item, and that's kind of the story across the WE roster, except for that top laner. So Breathe, the man to watch, or is it Missing? Because he's doing the exact opposite of his name this game. He does not seem to be able to miss a hook.
Missing, to me, has been the most up and down member of WE this year. I think definitely more on the downside. So it's nice to see him come in and really have a great performance this time around, because he's definitely just completely outperforming Lucas on the opposite side. It felt like for 2020 when WE found their magic, a lot of it was based off the synergy coming out from members like Missing, Beishang, and Teacher Ma. So Missing stepping up and showing us glimpses of what we saw in 2020. IG, though, going to be the team to force heavily onto the opposite side of the map. Looks like they just want to get deep vision for the fact that Dragon is coming up in 40 seconds. Probably going to assume some resets going to come out for some members. You want to try and get on midway first, once again, as IG. Then you push into River, where you already have vision control and have denied vision on the opposite side, and you can start weaving in and dishing out a lot of this poke.
Yeah, Breathe trying to clear the wave on the bottom side. There is a bit of a threat of a dive with Lucas there, but missing, trying to contest and get some vision for themselves. As the Herald comes down in this mid lane, Elk doing everything he can to just clear this wave, but the Herald charge will finish the tower off here. So nicely done by IG to get themselves another objective, and they are still behind in gold. It's a 2,000 gold lead in favor of WE right now, but IG, it feels like they're the ones in control of the map, and Drake has just spawned in. Feels like IG should get that one for themselves as Rookie. Just gonna get a bit of poke onto Elk.
I mean, WE opted out of even contesting, right? They've already been making their way up towards the top side for the past 15 or so seconds. So gonna try and steal out camps on the opposite side, get some vision down for Baron, and hopefully take this tier 2. Might even be able to look for a dive onto the TheShy, but other members of IG are starting to make their way up now, so that wouldn't be the best idea.
There we go. Everfrost comes in onto the TheShy. He doesn't have flash available. There's a depth charge missing. In fact, he did have flash available. What am I talking about? Shock blast onto Shanks here. As IG have answered. Remember, Shun on the bottom side of the map. Elk moving over. This could be advantageous for WE if they can force a fight now. Red buff about to be taken as IG back away. And it looks like that's all WE will get. But they managed to get that tier 2 tower, even if they don't get a kill.
And the fact that Shanks got chunks so low meant they wouldn't have been willing to look for any kind of engage. If they could have kept the scrap going longer and maybe IG over-aggressed on them once Shanks had gotten his back off. Shanks does have teleport, so he would be able to rejoin the fight, and you look for something at that point in time. But we're not going to get into that. 2 items now on 2 members like Elk. Really feels like it's going to be his big spike, right? Divine Sunder and the Mura Mana on the board, so those Mystic shots going to start hitting like a truck. On the opposite side, though, we've already highlighted the 2 members for IG that we should keep our eye on, which is TheShy and Wink. TheShy also on his same core 2 items as well, while Wink already starting to make his way onto his 3rd.
Yeah, it feels like Aphelios. When you go for lethality and armor penetration, you really can just shred whoever comes near to you. And then 4th item, Infinity Edge, just sends you to another level. Missing face checking into Shung. They both turn the corner, see an enemy, kind of panic for a second and walk the other direction. Neither of them even auto-attacking. As it's vision control onto the Baron for WE so far. And IG trying to contest, but look where Shanks is right now. Pressuring in that bottom side, forcing TheShy to come and answer, but both have TP.
And Shanks right now can start making his way towards mid. You use that window on pushing in next wave mid to just continuously push aggressively into the enemy jungle and look for those picks. But looks like some of WE's members are sitting on some standing gold, with both Beishang and Missing wanting to back. Looks like the Sterix Gauge may be able to come out for Beishang at this point. Nope, just gonna get another Ruby Crystal and some more vision. So ran out of wards, backing, refilling those inventories, and gonna now get back on the map, reinstate that pressure, and now start aggressively pushing for vision.
And it feels like this game has slowed down significantly from the pure chaos that we saw in the first 10 minutes. Now, it feels like there's a little bit more at stake, right? Both teams were trying to wrestle for an early lead, but at the end of the day, if you lose the early fights, you don't lose the game off of the back of it necessarily. Whereas now, if you lose a significant fight, you're going to lose a Baron. You're going to lose late game dragons that can lead towards a soul. You maybe lose control of the entire map. IG, speaking of map control, are all over this bottom side jungle. They're all over it like a rash right now. But WE are like, hey, you want to play bot side? Sure, we'll do a Baron any day.
Still, though, WE now spotting out the other members of IG on mid-wave, starting to hover over, so they don't want to risk it. IG going for the 0-3-2 play, having their 2 soul laners play down towards the bottom half of the map. Hopefully you can try and find a pick onto Shanks, then TP back up towards that top half, but they're not going to be able to, as Rookie still just poking his head in to get a bit of damage down. Not going to be able to find anything meaningful, as, you know, the healing coming out from Elk with that Divine Sunderer.
I feel like we've had a very quiet game here for Rookie as well. Who's a player, I mean, everyone loves Rookie, right? He gets a chain onto Missing. Won't be able to turn it into anything. But it feels like he's had a pretty rough split for himself. Not to the... obviously, our expectations of Rookie are exceptionally high, which is why it's considered a rough split. He's been fine. He's been reasonable. Just not been literal god of 1v9 like he was last year. I'm hoping we get to see a little bit more out of him in this game. With this LeBlanc pick especially, it feels like there's so much skill expression. But Baron started off down to 9,000, and IG, they're going to be late to this party, but Shun over the wall. This would be a 50-50. That's enough for WE to back away. They were just checking it, right? Maybe they can get away with it. Maybe IG don't check in time.
And that's a quality I feel like all of our top teams have, right? When you see teams like RNG, FPX, top esports in their heydays, they're all willing to go for these sort of Baron plays where maybe you luck out with a Baron, maybe you luck out with a pick if just one member of the opposite side walks in to check by themselves. So a lot of different avenues to go for. They don't lose too much time. There's nothing on the map for them to take. Dragon not up just yet, and they're able to get the resets off in time to come up with the 30-second timer to Drake. IG still going to be the team controlling vision on the bottom half of the map is quite nice. We're going to be watching TheShy and seeing if these accelerated shock blasts can be able to output any meaningful damage, though. A good amount of sustained healing on the side of WE, and only heal cutting looked like it was on Rookie.
Here we go. WE setting up for the fight here. You can see Breathe is in the bottom lane right now. He's just TP'd over to try and get priority there as Shanks moves to contest this mid wave, but there is no contest available for WE. Look at IG. Forget the Cloud Drake, they say. They go and threaten the Baron instead, but Rookie poking back in. Ezreal with a very aggressive E forwards there. Can be punished for that one. It'll be on cooldown for a little bit because he's not landing these Qs. But now WE, it's their turn to force priority onto this mid wave because look, Breathe is soloing the Drake in the meantime. WE, they get to contest this wave. They get to deny the Baron and get the Drake for themselves. Everfrost comes through. Lucas forced to flash away. Very nicely played by WE.
WE just playing patiently, posturing around, threatening IG to make sure that they don't go up for any sort of Baron play on top side while still taking that Dragon down in bottom side. These are the kind of performances we need to see from WE if we're going to be convinced that they can actually have a deep run in playoffs.
And I've got to call you out a second here, Lyric, because you criticized Shanks in that interview saying the macro wasn't going to be good enough. Elk is not in trouble. Shun has gone real deep on this one. Needlework coming across the team. True shot barrage. As IG, I don't really know what the plan was there. I don't think that Shun can 1v5 at this point. Rookie hooked in as Missing finds yet another anchor, and it's going to sink IG all the way to the bottom of the ocean. A fight win for WE. That'll be Baron. That'll be a bot tier 2. That'll be everything that WE need.
Another big mistake coming out from Shun. WE with a great engage to punish. I love seeing what we're getting from Shanks and Breathe in the situation, and then Missing just hitting these hooks consistently onto priority targets. The gold lead has ballooned to 5K. Now you're going to get a Baron for yourself as well, and WE going to be able to control any lane of the map that they want. As we head straight into the replay, they thought that they were able to find Elk. They go in, tries to land the kick flash, but actually just hits it further away. And yeah, Elk with nice timing on his E as well, but still, WE off this one just realized, hey, it's time to turn it around. Now their jungler is in way too deep. Breathe goes in. On the opposite side, you see Missing and Beishang looking to engage. WE are going to keep following up. We're going to see Missing with the flash hook onto Rookie to help secure that kill. And just great team fighting all around.
And I mean, Rookie flashing in a straight line away from a Nautilus, not necessarily the optimal play there. And IG, they've had a bit of a crumble on this one. Could be Apple, could be Rhubarb. We'll have to wait and see. Certainly delicious for WE fans everywhere. As now they move into this bottom side. With the Baron up wave, they can easily take some tier 2s off of the map, and IG can't do much about it. And the problem is, when you've got things like a LeBlanc and a Jayce on your roster, playing from behind, it just doesn't get any easier.
I feel like the Jayce is kind of fine, but you have LeBlanc that went, has Airy, has Scorch, has all these like early game lane dominating things indexed into their runes right now. That had Rookie gone electrocute right, at least his burst would have that extra few hundred damage on it once he does hit those 3 abilities. But I mean, even in general, right? I guess the rune doesn't matter. He has electrocute. He's in the same situation as he would be in now. So for IG, it does feel pretty done.
Oh. Hook onto Lucas. Here we go. Final fight potentially if WE can take it. 1 kill already. Wink. Nowhere to run as an Everfrost onto 2 as well. Shanks proving he deserves to be on this roster as Beishang looks for the 2v1. Elk there to follow up with him. A TP onto the wave. The Baron still in pocket for another minute for WE. They're looking to close things out. Rookie steps on forward. Shanks tries to follow him, misses the E. As TheShy flashes onto the fountain, he can't do anything. Rookie falls, and TheShy might just get dived. Elk with yet another kill. 21-7 as WE make a statement in game 1.
Great to see from WE. Gotta be honest, Munch, I was having massive doubts after their series against Rogue Warriors. At least now showing that they are still a serious contender and serious threat to not only potentially, you know, the LPL title if they can keep improving, but at the very least one of those world spots. I mean, their top and jungle look phenomenal. When Missing is performing, it feels like one of the things that really pieces WE together for me, because Missing and Shanks, I think, definitely being the biggest question marks on this roster. And when those guys are showing up, it feels like everything just goes right for the side of Team WE.
Yeah, feels like they were able to have such a fantastic performance. And, you know, Elk as well, relatively quiet for a lot of this game, and the early game dives certainly didn't make him look that fantastic. But in those skirmishes around the neutral objectives, he was able to just get so much work done. Obviously, eeing away from Shun's flash kick as well. Really, really nice play coming out from him, just managing to get that consistent damage out. And it feels like this was, Lyric, I hate to say it, a macro win from WE, especially the play around Baron and Dragon, where we see Breathe soloing the Drake while denying IG the Drake. Shanks said it in the interview that they needed to play well in the macro. You criticized him, but they've done it. They actually did good macro.
Yeah, and I think to their credit, right, especially in the mid-game, once they got a hold of this game, all of their choices were their own. It was great to see they pushed the game forward by themselves. I do want to flip it to the other side, because in the early game, I feel like IG made it a little bit easy in the early game to capitalize on some of the mistakes, but I mean, W in the mid game, exceptionally decisive. I love seeing when teams are able to play around Baron like W were doing to bait a lot of these fights. I love especially when they had Breathe doing the Dragon and they were posturing to make sure that no shenanigans could go on. So WE definitely coming out a much better mid game this time around. I will say Shanks, great performance. My only question mark still lie on that champion pool. Has 11 games on the Sylas now, 4 on LeBlanc, 1 on every other champion he's played. A game on Renekton, a game on Orianna, a game on Viego, so very comfortable on the Sylas. Definitely massive performer when he gets his hands on this. Are we going to be able to see more?
The hilarious thing is, we've criticized Cream endlessly for being like, oh, you banned Sylas and Akali, and this guy can't play. Well, with Shanks, you just banned Sylas. It's just one. You don't even need a second ban against him. So, yeah, definitely feels like Shanks. We need to say a little bit more than just the Sylas, but hey, still a great game here for WE. We're going to jump into a break. We'll be back for more in a couple of minutes' time.